Shonda's gonna join in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, I know you like to believe in that idea that it doesn't matter what gear you have and like everybody's gonna sound different.
You know we're live on the air
right.
already.
Yo, so we live. This is BeatPPL Podcast, episode 55. And I got some people in the place to be. Y'all, say what up.
What up? What up?
What's going on?
55, what's good?
Happy Halloween, everybody.
55.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you.
My household extends Halloween pretty much all year round, except for like a small snippet for Thanksgiving and a small snippet for Christmas. But it's Halloween all year round at my house. So,
with the green,
what
with
is
the green
you got
blues
the
coming
you,
down?
you Karate Kid right now, Ken?
come on, man. This is Cobra Kai. This is Cobra Kai Dojo.
Okay, cool.
This is the true heroes.
Alright. Hey, yo, you looking good with that Mod Bap shirt on down there, brother?
Yeah. You know, had to cop that.
That's what's up. Hey, Aaron, you looking good too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
A different
What's
look
good,
for you.
man? Yeah, you know I'm too pretty for the podcast today, so I'm playing it low key. You know what I mean?
Too pretty for the podcast.
And who's in the chat? Nathan Shores. What up, Nathan? Good to have you, man.
What up,
And
Nathan?
we got Trovarsi's gonna join us shortly here, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for us.
Travasi sounds like some kind of mixed drink, man. Travasier.
Travasier. Wow.
No doubt. Benjamin's in the chat. Word. So what's the first thing we getting into, man? Oh, but wait, hold on before I do this. Throughout the show, I'm gonna just stand up right here. I want whoever's in the chat to tell me what they think of this hoodie. It's the only one in existence, but if people feeling it, I'll get more made.
I already told you.
Yeah, man. Like, I need the hoodie. I got the shirt. It's getting cold out here, B. We on the East Coast.
No,
I'm
You
a
in Cali.
hoodie freak, man. I love hoodies, man. I'll rock hoodies into the summer like it's not even a thing. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. But
Yeah, hoodies are always on point.
Yeah, I need a hoodie.
Mainly because I'm frail and I need warmth. But
That's why you always drinking liquor.
We'll try to get you a hoodie with one of them straws.
this
in
is
it where
this is all medicinal alcohol. So
what they call it. Get a hoodie with one of those little plastic bags in it underneath, so with the straw coming out of, so you.
yeah, man. Get like a Camelback going with it.
If you get real thirsty, you could just smash it.
Hey, Pat Brady in the chat brings up a good point, and he says hoodie giveaway, and I think that's a great idea. And I just want to say, for one, Aaron needs to stop all that wind, and two,
What are you talking? I got the wind control joint on.
Aaron over there like.
You ain't controlling.
It's not working. Oh man.
Nah, man.
Luke, I am your father. That's what you gonna hear next.
And
Inky, what's going on, Inky? Good to have you.
I think a hoodie giveaway would be dope. I just got one of those cricket machines, and I'm gonna I want to make some stuff with that.
Masada,
And
what up, Masada?
so I might give away a couple
play.
of my cricket ones just because I'm interested in trying that thing out. I'm gonna do some Flux hoodies with that thing.
With the over the Cricket wireless.
No, the
Yo,
cricket.
what up,
It's like a vinyl cutter.
Yo.
Can't hear you.
Ali's got one.
All right, so what's the first topic for the day? Let's jump into it. I know we was gonna talk about a few things, but I know Aaron wanted to holler about complex oscillators, so that Karate Kid could kick him in the throat about something. Excuse me, not Karate Kid.
Man, no, you already know the deal. We've been going back and forth about which complex oscillator out there is the one, not only for Mod Bap, but just gives you the most flexibility, like down the line. And we've been having we have the further generator was top, the double Helix was top. Those were actually the two top complex oscillators that we had, and then Verbos was coming in third because Verbos does do the very like classic sounds, but I just feel like that one right there, the Verbos doesn't have as much range as the further generator. I mean, the further generator is super impressive. What are you guys thinking?
I think the CSL has a lot of power to it also, but I pulled the trigger on the further generator, probably just because I've been looking at it for months. But yeah, I think I like the sound of it.
So one of the things about that though is that we were kind of talking about off air was the fact that you had been talking about the further generator for a long time, and one of the things that I was telling you is that there's all these other options out there that look really great. Double Helix, the 0-point oscillator that's coming from Steady State Fate. There's lots of really great ones out there, but you had your eye on this thing for like months and months and months, and I kind of brought up the fact of like, well, even if you get another really nice complex oscillator, are you always going to be thinking about that one that you were thinking about?
That's
right.
a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's another reason, like, by you saying that, that's why I was like, you know what? Like, I just pulled the trigger, like, all right, I'm going to get it, man, because I've been, that exact point, I've been looking at it for a while. Now, the CSL looks super dope to me. That was, like, really my second in line. So, from Instruo.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I haven't used it, so I have.
All of this stuff sounds really dope, though. It's crazy.
I agree. That sounds really good. Yeah.
So another thing is that there's also the idea of using, half and half. So like two separate oscillators and then like a wave folder. Basically building a complex oscillator out of multiple modules. And we still can't hear you, Trovarsi. So.
No, I'm not with that. That putting together the jig. I think like the relationship between the oscillators is completely different when you have a complex oscillator system.
I kind of agree, but at the same time, there's certain ones that were kind of designed in that way. So like the Dixie and the Rubicon. Yeah. Those are kind of designed to be that. You know what I mean? And it is kind of cool to be able to like, okay, so I want this wave folder with these two oscillators together. Like I have the anti-module VCOs, I have them side by side because they have a very like vintage VCO sound to them. They're very like they don't track 100% perfect, and they're just big beefy sound to them. And then all you need then is just like a mixer and a little bit of wave folding, and you have a really nice complex oscillator because they can do linear and exponential FM on them. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the other side of this thing is outside of analog complex oscillators, there's been a big push towards digital complex oscillators in the past like 2 years.
Right.
So there's a lot of really digital ones.
I will tell you this. I definitely did think about the fact that, all right, I have a STO already. If I got one of the new Endorphins VCOs, what is it, the Godspeed VCO?
Yeah,
if I got that, then I would pretty much have a complex oscillator already with the two. I just need a wave folder, So I did think about going that route, but I just really wanted a whole package because, I mean, looking at my SV1 right now, I could use that as a complex oscillator. There's two oscillators in it. It has sync, but I just need a wave folder, which I could run it into the disting or something, do some wave folding, but I don't know. I think going a whole package just gives you it's just easier, really, for,
And when you're talking about that stuff, it's really like, so you want basically that sound in one, unified module that's going to, be that sound. And that's why one of the reasons why I keep pointing to the double helix, because I like how the double helix, not only is it two oscillators, but it's also an LFO, a wave folder, a mixer, a modulation routing.
Yeah, you got that whole modulation.
And a low pass gate.
Yep.
So it's all of those in one.
But hold up,
great.
The thing about that low pass gate is it's not just one length. You can adjust it back and forth. And I went back to yesterday, the day before yesterday, and I watched B-Boy. I watched Corey's video on it, and I was just like, damn, that's a super dope oscillator. So we were talking in the chat the other day, and I was like, I'm definitely gonna grab that up.
Yeah, but what about the fact that you could do amplitude modulation as well on like things like the further generator,
right?
And some of the other,
and that's what I really need, that amplitude modulation.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more than just wave folding. If it was just wave folding, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Just put a couple oscillators to a wave folder, but it's more than that.
Right. Modulation on these as well. So.
Oh, you can? Okay. No, I meant by just taking two like independent.
Well, yeah, that's why I said kind of like a mixer or VCA in between. Like, yeah, I mean, like the building blocks of a complex oscillator essentially is what I'm saying. And you can, especially with 2 HP modules out now, you could do some really crazy stuff in the same HP space. Trovarsi, we still can't hear you. What's going on over there?
So in the penalty box.
But yeah, like with the whole like 2 HP line stuff, you can do some really interesting things in a really compact space, and that's dope. Like as far as like getting that same kind of thing. Now the downside is that it's not normalized, so you still have to have like you can get those. I got some of these like really short patch cables like this, and I'll use them for stuff like that. It's not going to focus because it's focused on my beautiful face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But going back to digital, right? Go back to digital. Let's not sleep on the fact that you could upgrade the chip on the further generator to a digital oscillator, which gives you a whole nother range. It gives you a whole nother range of FM synthesis, man. Yeah. So
I think I'm going to try that.
Always been on that. Yeah.
I don't know how Endorphins has found a way into the center of my universe in such a quick time. Yeah. I really didn't even know who they were last year. You know what I mean? How long they been around?
Yeah, man. When I caught
that for a minute.
When I caught that Grand Terminal, I was like, oh man, this is it, you know?
Yeah, they make really dope stuff. Can't front on them.
Yeah, I just got the Squawk Me Dirty. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I'm using it. I'm using it a lot in my patches.
There you go.
It's a dual. It's a dual filter. It's pretty amazing, and for the price.
Yo, I got a quick question about that. The strong core VCO in the further generator. I don't have one. So my understanding of that is that that's a digital chip that goes onto it, and it gives you like, so is it one side of the oscillator is then digital, or
it's the carrier?
You still have two analog.
Yeah, so you could change the carrier. Yeah, you change the carrier to a digital, and the modulator stays analog.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool. I dig that. So like I have a couple other ones that are less talked about. The neutron sound orgone accumulator is actually like 3 oscillators in one, and it's a complex oscillator, and it has a bunch of different modes and whatnot. That's a really cool digital one. But the downside of digital oscillators being a complex oscillator is one thing that's really difficult to do without a lot of horsepower CPU wise in in the synthesis world is preventing aliasing when you're FMing at really high rates. So, a lot of these things, it's like, man, analog just sounds different and it sounds interesting when you have a nice complex oscillator that's, like when you're pinging a Vactrol and you've got this really cool FM and wave folding situation going on. Man, it just sounds totally unique. Like there's some really great emulations in VSTs and whatnot, but nothing quite gets it right, in my opinion.
No, but I think that's what the point of the zero crossing chip is on there, is the fact that it kind of solves that problem.
No, zero crossing is completely different though. Like zero crossing, the cool thing about zero crossing is that you can maintain a pitch.
Yeah, you
can maintain a pitch while you're doing that FM modulation. So, which is super, super useful. And there's a few analog modules out there that will do that. But they're few and far between, and they're becoming more prevalent now, but it's fairly difficult as far as analog.
But I mean, design. You could always just tune it way up. You know what I mean? And then find your modulation on the other one, and then just play it a couple octaves down, and
Wait, so you think that the aliasing will still take a big part even if you have the digital chip on the further.
I mean,
generator.
listen, if you get the digital chip on the further generator, you're gonna hear some clipping, you're gonna hear some aliasing.
I'm not.
It sounds. Some people like the sound, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna get it.
Well, all I'm saying to that is that not all digital is gonna alias at inaudible range. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. It depends on the grunt. You know what I mean? It depends on that CPU power. So it depends on things like oversampling, like the sampling rate of the operation in itself. You know, like if it's going at a really high rate, then that's not a problem anyway. So
no, that's perfect. Yo, anytime Ken says something, just somebody got to yell out, "Prove it!" Then.
That's right. Prove it.
I just don't want a blanket statement saying, "Oh, well, digital means that you're going to hear aliasing." That's not necessarily the case. It's just
right.
It takes a lot more. Like you got to go a lot further to prevent that.
I could dig it.
So, and if you're
Very
using
cool.
something, if you're using something like a Teensy chip or something like that, more than likely there'll be some aliasing in there. But the flip side of that is that aliasing can actually sound really damn cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
especially when you throw it through cool filters and whatnot, that can be used as an advantage too.
Yeah, there's always ways to flip it. I think like the biggest thing to drive home, and the thing that really stood out about what Ali was doing was he was taking his time with this complex oscillator, because the complex oscillator can become like the heartbeat of your whole system. Like it becomes the personality of your system, and they're usually a little big and kind of have odd HP, so you're gonna have to build around it.
Yo, so I'm interested in this comment right here where my man says endorphin stuff is great sounding, but I stay away from corny looking faceplate. I don't know why. I don't see
not the new ones.
About that faceplate.
The new ones,
I think he's talking about the yellow.
The yellow joint.
The yellow looks kind of weird.
The gold joints are fresh. The gold joints are fresh.
I got the gold.
I agree with Aaron, man. The gold joints are fresh looking, and people that are scared of
I'm down with the black
looking faceplates. To me, you're a lesser human.
Damn, for real.
I'm just laying it out here today.
Yo, let me give a shout out to my folks that happen to be watching as we stream this on Facebook. So this is the first time we actually streaming on both YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, we're doing both now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Facebook BeatPPL page is actually streaming this. And we got Ski Beats checking it out from over there on the Facebook channel. What up, Ski?
Yo, what up?
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yo.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
To me, it's like, we've talked about this a lot as far as how faceplates look and all that kind of thing. But to me, I'm all about like, you let the designers show their personality. Like, stop trying to hinder other people's creativity.
Yeah. And you know what? When it comes to the further generator, if you actually look on their site, they make there's 4 other ones. Some were made just for the Japanese market, which look crazy fresh. Some were made for strictly for Europe, which look crazy fresh, and they're different colors.
And we're talking about what? It's a $600 module, right?
It's
something like that.
It's 750. It's 750 on Perfect Circuit.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm not giving up my other spot. I'm not giving up my other spot where I get my modules from. That one's staying low.
All right, so let me just say this then, right? So at that price point, you're almost double the price of a double Helix. Now, I'll say this: double Helix has a lot of functionality for the range, but I will say that I've noticed there's flaws in the design too, right? So I can get circuit bleed on the double Helix. Now I don't know if there's any of that on the further generator, and
not so far.
It's not horrible, and it's not something that prevents me from doing anything that I really want to do, but it's there. You know what I mean? Like and I'm not saying that that's a price point issue either. Like a lot of people want to just like directly compare price to quality. I don't believe that actually exists once you get past a certain point. Like once you get past a certain point, it's really about, hey, the designer just wants to charge what they want to charge, and hey, they're free to do what they want to do. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with you.
Endorphin-
What is it called? Point of diminishing return.
Exactly,
But isn't
endorphins-
there like a version 2 of that double helix that
Not
actually
yet.
corrects the problem that you're talking about?
Not that I've heard of it, and if that happens, then I need to get on the horn with them. Like, but I have not. I haven't heard that. It would be cool. I'll say this though. Again, it doesn't really bother me that much. But the endorphins thing, when they first came out, and I saw the further generator, my initial knee-jerk reaction was, "Damn, that's overpriced." But what I've noticed over time with the endorphin stuff is that they really know their shit. And they don't do typical stuff. Like, they'll do really interesting digital designs and really interesting analog designs. And that's pretty rare. Like, usually it's like one or the other.
Yeah.
But they're really combining things in a very interesting way. And in the past less than a month, I've bought 2 different endorphins modules because it's just some cool shit.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the cockpit, because the cockpit does things that your normal mixer doesn't do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cockpit.
I only have
Cockpit is dope.
I only have one gripe about that.
For those that don't know, that aren't familiar, what's the cockpit?
So the cockpit is a 4-channel stereo mixer that can be configured in multiple ways, meaning that there's jumpers on the back of it to where you can take the 4 channels and split them up, or you can combine them into stereo channels. And so you can have like 4 stereo channels on it, or no, I'm sorry, 2 stereo channels and 2 mono channels, or you can have it be
all 4 stereo.
Pens. You can have. Oh my God, how much wind are you going to give us today?
Okay, all right, man. I'm coming up.
Right. So you can configure the module in different ways, and then on top of that, it has it's got a built-in compressor on it.
Well, it's not a compressor; it's a ducker.
It's a ducker, but you can actually configure it in 3 different ways. So it acts like a compressor, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's for all
for all intents and purposes, it acts like a like a really legit sounding sidechain compressor, which sounds great on the end of your live chain.
Yeah,
exactly. The only downside to this module that I've found, in my opinion, is that so it only has headphone output, right? It doesn't have a dedicated separate output for a line out. If it just had one other stereo output to it, it would be like the perfect little mixer for me because it's tiny. You can daisy chain them. It has auxiliary inputs on it.
Yep.
And you can configure it however the heck you want, on the back end. And it has digital control, so you can actually have it remember what your volume settings were after power down and power up.
Oh, that's dope.
And you can press down on the individual encoders on it. If you press down on them, it mutes them, and so you can mute.
So they're mutes,
and it's clickless.
And also, you can compress, or you could duck whatever channel you want. So if you don't want channels 2, 3, and 4 ducked, you don't have to have them ducked, and you can only have channel 1 if you want.
Yeah, you can decide which channels are sending to that ducker, which is really dope. And I was actually gonna
know that about that.
I was going to show a quick example. If you guys want to get nerdy real quick, I can show an example of the double helix, how it sounds with that wave folder, and also it's bleed. I can show it if you want to hear it.
Yeah, okay, we'll listen to its bleed. But I wanted to.
This sounds so dirty.
I wanted to add one more thing about that compressor. Sure. So like you could send in a gate. So that means you can send in an alternative rhythm into the ducker, which has nothing to do with like a quarter note or anything like that. So you can send an actual rhythm in there that from another part of your system, which is super unique.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
It's amazing.
That's really dope.
Oh, that was really loud, right? Did you guys hear how loud that was? Okay. You don't hear it? Oh, that's right. I muted it, so we're good. I'm going to set this up real quick.
Yo, Masada asked you a question, Flux.
Yeah, so while you get that ready, Flux, listen to this question from Masada. Considering Isla Instruments is making it, will the SP2400 have a chord or scales feature? He's curious. I guess so. He's thinking about the idea since they make chord files.
So I'll just say this much, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on with the SP2400 that's going to be some dope news and all that. I don't really want to answer questions like that yet because it's all so early. Like really, like I did a live stream interview with Brad from Isla Instruments not all that long ago, and then from there we're going dark for just a little while till the prototype gets in my hands, and then when it's in my hands, like currently right now where it's at is sequencer programming and all that stuff is being coded right now. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that's not done, and there's a lot of stuff that that is just now getting done. But it's a little bit early, in my opinion, to talk about like extended features and like detailed stuff about it, because it's more like, hey, let's focus on getting like the raw stuff down first, and then we'll talk about that. That's my opinion. So.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, but there's a big storm around the new SV2400, and that's awesome. That people are actually hunting you down to ask you questions about it. There's a huge interest in it.
Yeah,
I'm excited
it's been
about
like
it
that
as well.
since the beginning, though. You know that?
Yeah. I mean, but hey, it is what it is.
No. All right, Aaron. I'm not even getting ready to go down that road with you, man. Nah, forget that. Look, okay, so I want to jump to another joint over here. Analog 4 and Rhythm OS update. Yeah. So
amazing.
Yes.
Who's checked it out so far?
I did a little bit.
Yeah. I haven't gotten a chance to upgrade. It's been a mad crazy 2 weeks for me over here in Fireville, USA.
Oh, that's right.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
So, dude.
Wait. All right, I'm back. I love it.
Well, I just got done setting up a basic ass patch for the.
The most obvious one for the analog heat is now it's class compliant.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
That is huge.
That is
right?
huge.
Yeah. So I tested it out. Sounds amazing. I had it going into Ableton. Love it. That's the one big thing for me with the analog heat. The analog rhythm and the analog 4, just like the graphics updates. Also,
the graphics updates. That's right.
Yeah, and they added random functionality. Well, randomizing the parameters to each one of the pages, so you can randomize parameters on each page if you kind of get stuck with a concept.
That's
and you want to spice it up. Super dope.
Yeah.
Just overall, this has been one of the most satisfactory, satisfying updates from Electron in a long time.
Yeah, I think what's dope about what they do with their updates, they tend to do stuff that most companies would create a new version of the box to do with that. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
you get an analog 4 or rhythm or heat or whatever, and it can always be upgraded and shock you with like, oh crap, this is like having a new machine. So, yeah, that's really dope. Really dope. I gotta upgrade those here this week.
That's as far as I got with the upgrade too is the randomizations from the parameters, and I do love the new visuals. Basically, they updated the visuals to match the digitact and the digitone.
Why don't you actually tell us a little bit about your trip?
Oh
yeah. Let's
that's right. She went to Germany.
Yeah, tell us about your trip. We're gonna go.
I had the pleasure of going to Berlin and checking out the new Electron spot. It is beautiful, you guys. Like, just they did a really good job with it. The sound in there, the design of the room, and then they have like their new stage there. In fact, when I was there, I just missed Lady Starlight doing a show there, but I did get a chance to hang out with Chang and pick his brain a little bit about the update, and I'm pretty happy about it. I love the randomization of the parameters, and with the visualization of bringing it up to date with the Digitact Digitone. Honestly, that's as far as I've been able, because of the trip. I just got back. That's as far as I've been able to dive in with updating the rhythm. But my next step is to dive into the MIDI, using it to sequence. And I know that Ken and I have been kind of chatting about that as well. But overall, it was great. Berlin. I'm looking forward to going back to Super Booth for sure. I'm definitely going to be out there.
Yeah, Super Booth.
I'll be back out there at Electron. So it's gonna be dope.
So tell me a little bit about the space, because I know it's when Super Booth was happening, they were just opening up the Electron space. So Ali and I didn't get a chance to swing by there, but what's sort of the purpose behind it? Is it like a creative space, a learning space, a performance space?
I think it's really all of the above. What you just mentioned. It's just kind of like a hub for artists to kind of come by, touch base, get to know some of the Electron gear. They do have events there. In fact, unfortunately, again, like I came in between, but they did an event the night that I flew out, the morning that I flew out, that night they were doing another Electron event there, and it was about all their updates. And I know, right? I missed both things, but yeah, so basically that's what the space is about, just like artist development, meetup, any chance they can get to do stuff with the community. So I know they're definitely going to be having some events because Booth and Ableton Loop are both happening the same weekend out there.
That's wild.
I know there's going to be stuff happening, for that as well out there. So
yeah, that's going to be big. I don't know if you guys know, but Fess actually got one of the subsidized tickets. So Fess and his family are going to be out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still haven't gone to Loop or Super Booth. I'm definitely considering it in the near future. So we're getting reports that somebody's got a lot of hum. I don't think it's on my side. I'm going to mute all my channels. Hold on. I'm going to mute myself real quick.
I don't think it's me.
It's Ali.
Is it me?
Nah, I just
I'm about to mute my shit.
I don't have any gear on, so I don't think it's me. That's for sure.
I don't have any hum.
Well, anyway, so yeah, as far as that Electron update though, it made me actually pull my rhythm out of retirement, which is nice because I don't tend to use it very much. It still makes me angry at it every time I use it. I feel like there's a lot of sloppy things about it, but the MIDI stuff, at least now I can get triggers happening, which is cool. Oh, now I'm hearing them quiet.
I hear it hum now.
I tried to turn it down, but okay. So anyway, yeah, so the rhythm update with the MIDI is the big one for me. Being able to send MIDI is allowing me right now. I have. Hold on, I should probably unmute. So like, yeah, right now I've got. I think I have my stuff set up right. I don't know if you guys are gonna hear it or not, but I've got my my modular set up to be the drum side of my modular is set up to be triggered from the rhythm. So. But I'm using the endorphin shuttle control to go between the two. So I'm just using USB out of the rhythm straight into the shuttle control, which is then sending, the triggers and everything out. And then I have like some LFOs programmed into the shuttle control and all that good stuff. But it makes my rhythm infinitely more usable, which is dope. People talk about my booty. Yeah. Yo, I had to pack on weight. I don't know if people know, but for Halloween, my costume was Peter B. Parker.
He had to pack on weight like he took on a role in a movie.
No. It was commitment. I had to eat cheesecake at least once a week, sushi once a week.
I'm sure people were twisting your arm, Ken.
It was so difficult. It was so difficult, but I was committed to the role. So I was Peter B. Parker from Spider-Verse. So I had the sweatpants on. And, to pack on that gut, it took dedication. But I feel like I pulled it off.
So why you change the Karate Kid then?
Well, that's just for today. That's just for today because I'm a nice guy. I'm out here celebrating. It's a celebration, bitches.
Word. Hey, yo, Trovarsi, I want to jump back over to you. You did something that was pretty dope this week. You partnered with Noise Engineering and Perfect Circuit to do what?
Yes. So they released, I believe it was 5 distortion modules over the month. And so they wanted to do an event that kind of promoted. They did a demo for each of the modules, and then it was myself, Million Machines, and Matt Lang. We each did a performance using one of the distortion modules, and it was dope. I took the Digitone and I ran that through the distortion module, and and then I just took like one pattern with 2 voices and used that to kind of use the distortion module to manipulate and change the sounds of the voices in my song. I played like about 6-minute song and just did that, but yeah, it was dope. I really like that module a lot. I like it,
dope.
And I paired it with the with their Mimic Digitalis, which is I think Corey, you've checked that out too before.
Yep, that's dope.
It's a CD sequencer.
Yep.
And it's a little thing, but it does a lot. I like it.
And Corey, you did a whole set too.
Yeah, I did a set over at and it's online too. I think both of these are online, right?
Yeah, both yours and the Perfect Surf thing.
Yeah, so I did I guess so. Noise Engineering has what they call the Noisecast hour, and so what's dope about it is that they have 2 performers come through and perform on in this kind of format that's almost like a nighttime talk show, in the sense that you get a performer, and then while the next performer is setting up, the first performer is being interviewed, and then the next performer starts, and then after that the next performer gets interviewed. So it's like a 4-segment sort of show, or either 2 halves where you get a performance and an interview by each person. So it was me and POV, Patrick O'Brien, POV Energy on Instagram, and
which
yeah,
he's dope too.
He is really dope.
Yeah, he's bananas.
I've been following him for years, and he is like a superb synthesis.
Yeah, without a doubt, totally agree with that. And it was a good time though. It was a real good time because Noise Engineering has a really dope setup for like the setup that they have. So they were live streaming. So they were live streaming, and as they were live streaming, they had this whole backdrop and everything, and they were live streaming with you kind of facing the camera, but they also had like 2 camera angles, like one straight on and one from the side, and then they had a 3rd camera for the interview section. And it was just a real dope setup, real good vibes, a lot of good chip and IPAs, and it was just good vibes. So yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to do that, because I didn't think I would get a chance to do that, because you know, I'm affected by, I won't say the exact fire or the exact area, but I'm affected by the Southern California fires though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
which was scary, man. Like
yeah, that was crazy.
It was mad nuts, man. So you know, but you know, even though we were affected and even evacuated, we came home to no damage. So that was dope.
Hey, does your studio smell of luscious smoke at the moment?
No, actually, the house did kind of smell a little, you know, residually smoky, but it wasn't like pungent, and we didn't have to hire a cleaning service for that kind of thing.
Yeah, we
crazy.
were all.
We came home. We came home on that Saturday, and I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to, if I was going to be able to do the live stream for the Noisecast joint, and so I had our brother in Frequency, Shiro, on standby, ready to jump in and take my place if he needed to. But you know, I was able to pull it together. At 2, with my procrastination, I was not quite ready with my set, but I was able to kind of late that night on Saturday night pull something together for the next day, and it came together pretty well.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick.
Sorry about that.
Just listen. Do you hear that? That's the bleed. That's me turning Oscillator 2 on the double Helix to its max, and then turning it down, and it goes away. So that's the only downside to that thing, is that when you go to, but it's funny though, because in that max range, other other dual oscillators and complex oscillators that I have can't even FM that high at all. So it's kind of like this thing where it's like, okay, well, it goes outside of your normal ranges anyway. So, and Inky's saying it's too quiet. Hold on. You know what? No. Here we go. Hold on, check this out. I turned it down. That's right. So now you can really hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the bleed. So, and if I hit play, like,
sounds like underwater gymnastics to me.
That way, Ken. Yeah, I say karate boy.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off.
Sorry about that.
That way.
That thing's dope. I like the double helix a lot.
Oh yeah, the double helix is super dope. Super
Yeah,
dope.
you could hear that though, right?
Sequencing.
Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure it came through. Yeah. So, but yeah, that thing is crazy, and that was being sequenced by the Fluxus One, which never gets enough love. So I try to tell people about it all the time.
You decided to listen at some point.
All right, so what do you got to say?
No, I ain't got nothing. I was just asking what you just answered. It's all good. What else we got out there, man? I can tell y'all that I have been super enjoying, and for the cats that may not be into modular, I know some of this stuff is like, okay, here they go deep into their bag right now. But I gotta tell you, I've been enjoying the combination of the Tempe and the Black Noir. And you know, I think that's one of those combinations that you could actually put that into one of those maybe the Palette 62 or one of those 4MS pods, and you got a ill drum machine right there. You know what I mean? With the effects and the drum, what is it, like 6-8 voices or something like that?
I saw your video on your Instagram, and I'm like
crazy, right?
So thank you for that. That's why I said you're such a bad influence. Thank you.
Yeah, he posted something that was in the chat earlier. It was like boom, chat. I was like, and then I was just like, I'm glad that's on its way.
No doubt.
Hey, I think Endorphins just took the whole squad over.
Yeah, dog, they did. We gotta have find a way to have them on the show too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. And we're gonna so also while we talk about who's gonna be on the show, we got Acid Rain is gonna come back.
All right.
We also have Bafako who's gonna come on. We just got to set a date. And then on December 7th, our brother the Daydream Sound is gonna be back on the show because he's releasing an album on the 5th of December. So on the 7th he's gonna come on and talk about his album. And for those that don't know, go check out the Daydream Sound on YouTube because he is the de facto expert and displayer and purveyor of classic samplers and drum machines and synth like ASR 10s and early samplers and stuff like that. And he recently, maybe about a year now, I guess, got into modular, but he didn't get into Eurorack. He got into 5U. And so he's using those classic samplers with 5U modular stuff and coming up with some incredible mod bap craziness. So he's gonna be on December 7th show too. So just a reminder for everybody, first and third Saturdays is how we rock it. So that's the show schedule.
So what's the big difference between modular and 5U? I mean, of course, modular is gonna have more.
They're both modular.
I mean, I'm sure they're both modular,
Eurorack
but
and 5U.
I think Eurorack and 5U, but
2U, that's the difference.
Voltage.
Quarter inch versus
quarter inch.
Yep.
But do they have as much variation as is coming out for the Eurorack standard?
Here's what I'll tell you the differences are.
No, they don't.
The differences are 2U in size, right? As far as vertically, right? Quarter inch versus 1/8 inch. For us US idiots. who don't know how to use millimeters.
Yeah.
And what is it? 18 volts versus 12 volts. Okay. So everything else can be done the same, but it's not adopted nearly as much as what Eurorack is.
Is it like Buchla 1.2 volts per octave, or is it 1.5?
No, it's volt per octave.
Oh, it's volt per octave.
Everything else is the same. Like, they're completely interactive.
Okay.
But the thing is that it's just not nearly as adopted. So you tend to not see quite as many digital modules on that side of things. Now there's people that are starting to do more digital modules over there, like Dove Audio, which is Paula Maddox from of Dove Audio, but formerly of Modal, has a really cool wavetable oscillator thing called the WTF, Wave Transform Fourier, I think it is. I don't know. Anyway, but so there's some digital stuff. People also tend to adopt Eurorack modules into the 5U standard. So, and that's like, they'll just basically literally take it off the panel.
I've seen Pam's new workout just went to 5U, right?
What's that?
Pam's new workout went to 5U, I think, and they got some extra ports on there. Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that's actually started a new 5U company. So Chris over at Conjured
Circuits.
Conjured Circuits. He's got a Jupiter/Juno filter that's coming out for it.
Noise Engineering makes a few 5U.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Panelists.
Stop diversifying that way.
Yeah.
There's a few really, really cool companies that still do that stuff, but it just tends to not be quite as prevalent. And usually, from what I understand, you have to have long hair and a ponytail to use it. So
a mullet
and a bolo.
Yeah, exactly, in a bolo. That's where it is. But no, I actually just physically, I just like the aesthetics of 5U. I just think they're beautiful. And the argument that I have with my wife is that I don't want a baby grand piano in a living room. I want a nice 5U, like
in the living room.
In the living room, because I'm an asshole.
Did you see the new travel size 5U that Moog just they're gonna?
Oh, you're talking about the Moog 10 Model 10?
Yeah,
the $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
their price points, like. I mean, I'm sorry, but people can talk about other companies that they question the ethics of these other companies, but when I see shit like that, I'm like, I question the ethics of that. I'm sorry, that's absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
absurd.
Oh, shout out to D Still in the typical panelist. Shout out to D Still in the chat over here. And although it probably has no relevance to current topic, I just wanted to throw this up on the screen and say, blame Afro-Rack. Cool.
Blame Afro-Rack.
That's it. Another t-shirt for you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. What else was out there? Yo. So what about this, wait, I want to circle back around.
I'll have the Kairos. I'll have the Kairos for testing.
Oh, that's dope.
I'll be interested in checking that thing.
Oh,
yeah, the Waldorf.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
I'm only going to have it for a short period of time. Oh, no, that's what I want to talk about, what Trovarsi has.
So tell us what it is.
You need to rack it up is what you need to do.
I know, I
still got it out.
Yeah, no, well, when I went to Perfect Circuit to do that demo, I was like, to my wife, I was like, I'll be right back. Did
you see any latency or anything like that with it? Because that's my number one concern is latency with that thing.
I haven't tried it yet. I literally just bought it on Wednesday, and today, after our talk here, this is what I'm going to work on.
My thought process is, because I have Hydrasynth desktop module, and everything. It allows MIDI CC to be completely addressable inside the modulation matrix of it, right? So if you have a MIDI to CC or a CC to MIDI converter, you basically have a massive modular in a desktop. right?
Yeah.
So that's my thought process is
Yeah.
I want to get one of those and then hook it up to my Hydrasynth and use that as a complex oscillator, filter, effects bank, envelopes, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Hold that up again so people can see. I'm gonna make you primary on the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna use this with some. I'm gonna try it with the A4. I'm gonna try it with some VSTs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run it with everything because I'm always, you guys know, I'm always changing my live setup. I don't think I've played with the same live setup more than once.
That for Zoya would be dope.
So
I'd be interested to see how it sets up with an H9.
This is basically a MIDI to CV converter that translates
CV to
CC
MIDI
messages. So yeah, CV to MIDI that translates CC messages. So if you have synths and stuff that you need to dig into the menu, or set up some controller for CC messages to really get that extra control and those extra features out of it, this will allow you to use CV to address those CC messages and control like Matriarch or Zoya or just about anything, the grandmother or the Hydrasynth and a million other things out there. Their CC messages all of a sudden brought physical into your Eurorack.
I'm gonna try it actually too with Ableton in not only VSTs but actually controlling Ableton itself, because I do a lot, as you guys know, I use Ableton sometimes with my hybrid, like do a hybrid live setup.
How dare you?
I might have it control some effects in Ableton, or even just the channel, just the volumes itself.
It's like the exact opposite of what we're used to as a MIDI to CC converter. It's like the reverse.
It's reverse.
It's funny because like this is and I'll talk about it on here because people who've been following this channel know, like Corey and I have both been talking to Delptronics for like ages because they have a prototype of a CV to MIDI module that still hasn't come out. But dude, I'm like dying for it. Now this Bafako one is quite different from that, use case wise and everything else. And I'm just like, man, more companies need to come with this. More companies need to bridge that gap between DAW, hardware synth, and modular. Like all three of those need to be way more fluid in how they talk. And that's the step. You know what I mean? Like the CV to MIDI stuff is really the step. But it's all about latency too. It's all about like it's got to be a quick processor. It's got to be done right, because if it's not done right, it gets sloppy and it's just not what we want.
Yeah, and then it gets frustrating too, because you can't, if you can't work fluidly, then it throws the creative process off. So,
and they talk about, if you read the Bafako site about it, it even says like there's no stepping in the MIDI CCs. Like they've definitely thought it through. So I'm really interested in trying one out.
I will give you a report later this evening, Ken, for sure.
Darn right you will, because
I will, man.
Otherwise,
I'll be on Marco Polo.
I'm gonna be calling you otherwise. So.
Word up.
And Nathan talks about it being a Teensy, and like it's MIDI to it's CV to MIDI. Like a Teensy should be fine for that. Also, I should also note that the new Teensys are crazy powerful. So I'm hype about them.
Man,
like,
the 4.0 I have is just doing craziness, man.
Dude,
so.
the new Raspberry Pi, the new Teensy, like all the new like small like processors that are low power that are coming out, man, they're changing the game.
So to speak on that Teensy thing is, so I think when we all have those nerd tendencies, we might say something like, oh, it's just a Teensy, but for the average consumer, 85% of people out there, they ain't gonna know. You just hand them a Teensy and tell them make music. Right. You know what I'm saying? Make something cool with this, they ain't gonna know. So that's why I love the fact that something like the Teensy gives developers and makers a strong platform to do a lot of real cool stuff, even if every module they make is like Teensy inside. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shoot, that's what I'm working with.
I gotta interrupt the conversation, and I want to say a huge shout out to Accurate Beats that's in the chat. I'm so happy you're healthy, man.
Word.
I'm so happy to see you recovering. And
I just watched your video, man. I'm so happy too.
Yo, I just had, like, as soon as I seen him, it made me so happy. So,
hell yeah.
Calls for accurate.
I loved your recent video, and I just want to say that man, I think you doing that video was a wonderful thing, and I thank you for that. So just laying that out there. So shout out to Accurate Beats. If you don't know who Accurate Beats is, you should definitely go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, like all his videos, and all that good stuff. So
Word Accurate. When you get a chance to rest up and recover a bit, man, it'd be good to have you on the show and chit chat with the crew, bro.
That would be dope.
So, I'm sorry I had to cut everybody off, but
that's all good. That's what you do. What we don't know about it.
Exactly. So one thing I wanted to ask you about that Bafako module that you got, right? Did you because I know you build DIY modules as well. Did you consider buying the kit instead, or you were just like, yo, I'm just gonna buy it?
No, I just
the only
went
difference
for it.
is like $100. Oh, my wife just
I just went for it. Like I love building stuff, and then there's just stuff where like I'm on a time crunch and I know that I just need to get it so I can get in it, and so then I just bought it. I didn't want to build it.
It's only like $100 difference.
Yeah.
And Corey and I were talking about this. We were talking about building them, and I was like, I could definitely build it, but it's gonna take me more hours than I think it's worth. To build it myself.
Right. I think with building, it's like you have to look at it at a couple different angles. Like not only maybe you can save a few bucks, especially if you're on a budget and you still want to do music, you should have that opportunity, but also it's also like enjoyment, so I pick and choose what I want to build, there are things like I'm just like, screw it. I jump on it. I'll buy it, even if it comes as DIY. And then other things are like, this is going to be fun. I mean, I'm a founder of SoCal Synth Society, and that's one of the core things that we do is do DIY builds. And so it's just a lot of fun to get together with some homies and nerd out with a soldering gun.
For sure. Yeah. I
So,
do it by myself a lot, but I wish I had some homies around here to do that with,
Well, you got to come back out.
Yeah, for sure.
We had you out here before. We'd love to have you guys back. Ken, you got to get out here too.
I'll be out there for NAMM at least. So
if you can make it out a few days beforehand, we're definitely planning on doing a meetup.
Yeah.
Well, that actually
I'll be out.
Because I was looking at my schedule, and my son's birthday, my oldest son's birthday is on
No
February 1st.
excuses, bro. We don't celebrate son's birthday.
Well, no. So his birthday is on February 1st. So I kind of wanted. I was debating on whether I was going to stay after NAMM or before NAMM, and I'm starting to think I might come out there a couple days early and just stay for that, because there's a lot of meetings that I'm trying to do, and I can't do them all in 3 days. So
You should definitely come out. Let me know in advance so we can. I know we for sure have a meetup set up on January 11th, which is the Saturday before. My dog is whining. Sorry if you guys hear that. The Saturday before NAMM weekend, and then if you're coming out, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, is there a doggy? Did I hear a doggy?
Well, she got to go save the dog.
I know, my little dog. He's like whining. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's just like.
Well, over here, just so people know, ModBap is all about the synth dogs, not the synth cats. So I'm just like that's.
Yeah. Here's my little dog here. But anyway, sorry about that. So, we're definitely doing a meetup on the 11th. And in fact, we have a special guest. I don't want to give out too much just yet.
Katy Perry.
But, he's going to do talk about modular, people that are starting out. And he's going to do a jam and a performance and also talk about patching. And he's pretty well known in the modular community. And so that's going to be dope. And but I know we're always trying to do events and do some things between that week leading up to NAMM. So
Synth dogs.
Come here, Moby.
You look nervous.
I'm going to be honest with you though. Corey is a dog hater.
Yeah, it took me at least 6 years to warm up to this dog.
6 years there.
It's okay because I'm not big into my little dog either. I love my
I would not be doing this 4 years ago.
For real.
That's what's up,
This
though.
is Cleo,
Yeah.
by the way. This is
Yeah.
my wife's dog. And she named her Cleo because I used to have a Siamese cat named Cleo. And she did that to try to make me like her. So I kind of hold a grudge for her. Good. Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll tell you, as far as these modules are concerned, like interacting between different things, I bought that shuttle control, and I was kind of like, usually when I buy a module, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I want to use it for. This is exactly what this is. That module I bought because I was just like, I know I'm gonna end up wanting it. Like I don't need it right now, but I know I'm gonna end up using that for something awesome. And that's kind of how it was, and that's kind of how I'm starting to feel about that VC, the VCMC, because it's like it can interact with so many different devices that I'm like, man, I just need that in my life. So you need to rack that up.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that turns out. For
Oh,
real.
you got one?
No, she got one. Actually, I have one in my cart right now. I ain't gonna lie.
What
Another one?
What's that?
She got.
No, she's
I
got
got
one. Travarsi's got one. I have one in my cart.
Okay.
Which one?
The
Oh,
VCMC.
Oh, okay.
But
No,
I
thought you were talking about the endorphins.
Man, I don't have $750 right now. I do have
Well,
a
if
shuttle
you bought that
control,
endorphins,
and
you
I
wouldn't
got
have
the
it then either.
cockpit, but I don't have $750
Endorphins
for
would
that
have
right
it.
now.
No, I'm talking about the MIDI. What is it? The MIDI. The MIDI.
Is that the terminal or the what? No, what is that?
No, the one you have.
The one I
The
have.
shuttle, what you just
The
bought?
shuttle
you just got some
control.
endorphins.
Yeah. I have the shuttle control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that for my drum rack. Like you can see that yellow beast in the corner there. That's it.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of, I actually want to show people the new 6U modules actually from Endorphins. Did we talk about those before?
Would you say?
I don't think so
Did
because
you say 6U?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean 6
The end of
HP.
6 HP. Yeah, you know.
6
what
HP. Okay, I was like, what?
I'm talking about.
Hold on. I was like, is your name Kilpatrick? Hold on. Are you making a new modular format?
Are they? Or do they have a name? Like, are they? Is this a different line?
No, it's the same line. It's just
I just
6
ordered
HPs.
one of them.
It's the breakout of the Grand Terminal, right?
Would you get the filter or the effects,
The
Trovarsi?
effects, the Milky Way.
Milky Way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, it's gonna be dope. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I got the Grand Terminal, so it's like everything in one.
Yeah, bring that up. Let's see that.
Yeah.
So this is the Grand Terminal and the cockpit. So this is the envelope generator, or airplane. I forgot what they call it. Is I don't know.
Which one is that?
The function generator, and the filter section is right here, and then this is another function generator, and then the effects is like up here spread across.
Yeah. I picked up the Milky Way, which is the effects. And then I forgot, Corey, see if you can pull up the endorphins page. It's like on their very first page, like a list of all of them. There you go.
Yeah.
So let's see. Godspeed is the VCO.
Yeah, Godspeed. That sounded good.
Milky Way is the effects.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Squawk Dirty to Me is the one Aaron has. That's the filter VCO. Then you have Airstreamer.
Yeah, that's
Which is
the
the envelope generator.
Yeah.
Then you have
The
the power
power.
joint, which I mean for power, look how small that is, Joe. What 2 HP power? That's kind of
right. 1 amp.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Shit, you get 3 of those and 4 of those, and you got 4 amps.
Yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah.
And 8 HP?
Yep. And then their sequencer is supposed to be out here soon, right?
Yeah, I tried that in it was pretty dope when I tried it out in Berlin at Super Booth.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an early version. My main question, once again, is are you going to be able to go off the grid?
How did the keys feel?
Oh, they felt good. I mean, it's not like after touch. It's not pressure sensitive, but
Okay.
They felt good. You know, it's a nice rubber pad.
Word.
Nice.
So those are rubber pads, rubber buttons type deals. Okay. Dope. Okay. Well, word, man. Who open discussion? What else is on everybody's mind? I feel like there's so much. So let me ask this question though: is it just me? Is it just because of who we're all into modular? We're all musicians, beat makers, live performers, and all this stuff. But I feel like there's more exciting stuff in the modular world than there is along the lines of drum machines and synths most times in the year, which is a weird thing because
like
some
it's
cool
an unfair
stuff comes
statement.
out. Huh?
I feel like it's an unfair statement.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like.
But that's not a statement. It was a question.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, because this kind of thing has been it's been talked about before as far as that kind of thing, and I just feel like it's like I try to think of modular almost the same way I think of like 19-inch rack units. You know what I mean? Like all it is like it's just a housing unit. You know what I mean?
It's true. That's true.
So it's
all
just more gear. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like whether it comes out in modular format or it comes out in desktop format and has CV, or it comes out, as a complete synth or drum machine. It's all. To me, it's all the same. Like, it's all about how you interact with it, as far as whether it has MIDI, CV, that kind of stuff. The thing that gets me excited is that more and more desktop gear and standalone synths and that stuff are all supporting I/O of CV. That's what gets me excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Hydrasynth has its CV right on top, so you don't have to fiddle behind the synth or anything like that.
Yep, I love that.
Like stuff like that to me is really big, and I hope that trend continues, and I think it will. I think you'll start seeing even more desktop units that have CV on them. How are you saying? How many?
Yeah, I can't.
So output, you have pitch gate, you've got pitch gate, an assignable mod 1, mod 2, and clock, right?
Wow.
And then you have inputs. You got mod 1 and mod 2.
Got it.
So and they're freely assignable in the modulation matrix as well.
Yeah.
So, but my point being is like not just about Hydrasynth, but just about gear in general. Like to me, it doesn't even matter if it's modular to me. It's like if it's desktop and it has CV, I can treat it like any module. You know what I mean? And that makes me super happy. Like I just want CV control over stuff, because the good thing about CV versus MIDI is like there's no setup and there's no guessing. It's just what you plug into, you know what that's going to, and you get instant gratification,
True.
It's true. Yep. So, I put this thing up here. I'm interested. So somebody said, I still haven't found a proper standalone sampling drum machine that works for my workflow. I wish I could hear more about what he's thinking on this, because I'd like to know what he got. What's his needs?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of options out there.
My MP takes care of everything I need. That's why I really don't just like shop around and go why I don't have a Digitact or something like that. It's because I got everything I need right there. It's no
the only downside of the MPC. The only downside of the new MPCs is their MIDI situation. But
it runs my Pam's new workout like crap, probably, but.
Yeah, once they fix their MIDI situation, which I don't know if they ever will, but like that's the only thing about the MPC now is like it used to be a MIDI powerhouse, and now it's like MIDI is an afterthought, which is silly to me, but whatever.
I feel like honestly, we definitely have had that conversation, but I also feel like some of these companies, they see that the world is DAW-centric now. 2019, it's a DAW-centric world.
But if that's the case, why would you make a standalone piece of gear?
Well, no, let me finish my statement, though.
Nope.
The idea of them depending so much on the fact that people use DAW as the center of their universe, then that they figure they could use that as a crutch to say, let's just do connectivity into the DAW, and then we don't have to worry about all those, tried and true foundational sort of features that, probably should be there to use this thing as a standalone box or whatever. I mean, it was the same thing with what was it? I had a workstation over here, and It didn't have a good sequencer. It barely had a sequencer. It did a bunch of stuff that it was like, yo, this ain't no workstation. This is a lot of money. What the reason is USB connectivity, and then you get all the tracks over USB and MIDI and all that stuff seamlessly over USB back and forth. And I'm like, y'all leaning hard on the dog.
Yeah.
Bro.
Right.
You talk about montage, right?
Yeah, the montage. Yeah. And they eventually fixed that with the latest update.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, I mean, if you're going to do standalone, like, for one, the software still limits the MIDI. So, like, even if you use it in that way, the software is still limiting the MIDI just like the hardware is. And that's ridiculous. But to me, it's like, if you come out with a hardware sampler that's got 2 MIDI ins and 2 MIDI outs, and I can't use 2 MIDI ins at the same time, like, what is wrong with you? Like, who are you? Like, it almost felt like a bait and switch when I did that, because like I had multiple MPCs before that, so it's like you wouldn't even think like, hey, can I address MIDI per track? You wouldn't even think about it.
So let me go back and also, just because I read this comment, the Analog Rhythm 2, for example, deep, but no real sampling ability to speak of. The Digitac has no time stretch and pitch. Octatrack, no. So go back, actually, with the update, the Analog Rhythm 2, when the MK2 came out, they added sampling ability. So it has sampling ability. We know it always had sample playback ability, but yeah, the Analog Rhythm does have sample ability because of an update they did when the new hardware came out. And so you basically get the same sampler as the Digitac in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's talking about deeper editing functionality of the sampler. He's talking about time stretch and you know, the way you slice and that sort of stuff, which is true.
Yeah,
the rhythm,
this is true.
The rhythm can't really do that, which I agree with you. Like, if it could do like some very basic editing of samples inside of it, like as far as maybe adding slices, doing easier looping, that sort of stuff, man, that thing would be 100 times better. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But
well, so you know, that's the thing.
I treat it kind of like a SP1200. Like, I treat it like, yo, you could do very big, like start and end point stuff. You know what I mean? That's how I treat it. Like, treat it like a SP1200. Yeah. You got, and it's sending through an analog circuit filter and all that stuff. So like, you get amazing sound out of the rhythm. But yeah, the functionality of a lot of aspects of it will make you scratch your head. Like, what are you thinking? Like, why did you not do this?
Yep, indeed. So somebody asked, has the machine fallen out of favor? And that's an interesting, simple, like just a baseline question. But the interesting thing
what was the question?
Has the machine fallen out of favor? And I'm taking it by the way Ken's face is looking. He got a lot of feelings about that.
I got a lot of feelings about that. I got a lot of feelings about Native Instruments in general.
Yeah.
I'll just say this much, right? I was deeply involved with them for, God, like since late 2009. They've had a lot of changes, and I'm not going to get into specifics because I don't want to have any kind of lawsuits come towards me. But I'm going to just say this. In the public forums, you can only send apology letters so many times before I just got to throw up my hands and be like, you don't get it. Like, you were given the silver platter. You had the head jump start on everybody. You were doing amazing things. You could have kept going, and you turned your head for a different reason. And that reason, to me, is not ethically sound, in my opinion.
But see, I think you're talking about some deeper stuff, though.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about public stuff. I'm talking about, like, if you choose to focus on things like complete control and this and that, this is what's in their apology letters that they've sent out and all that stuff to the forum. When we know that version 2.0 was supposed to have everything that 1.8.2 had, and then a whole bunch more, and the reason 2.0 was made was to enable certain features that never came about, it drives me insane. Now, I will say this. Machine is by far, workflow-wise, the fastest to sample and get a sketch down and to edit your samples by hand. Like, that stuff It is by far the best. Blows the MPC out the water, blows Ableton out the water, but there is so much lacking in what it can do sequencing wise. It still doesn't have aftertouch. It still can't do automation lanes for the master. Like, there's all these like fundamental, very serious things that Machine should have had years ago. And when I say years ago, I don't mean 1 or 2. I mean years ago. And they have not delivered, but they have delivered apology letters. Not once, but at least twice. Massive layoffs. And, you know, I've seen, you know,
the layoffs.
If you're involved in the music industry, you can see who's been at the company, who's left the company, that sort of thing. And it's just disheartening because I've still, like, it's still on my desk right here. Like, it is still, it stays here even at, but do you see the USB hooked up right now? It makes me cry because it's the best device for fast sketches, and it falls down constantly because they just won't finish it.
I'm advising Native Instruments to get in touch with my man Ken. Hire him. Give him
The only way that that's gonna work is if they pay me properly, because I've laid my heart out for them many times, and I'm sick of it.
I've never used a Machine.
I'm
never
sick
used
of
Machine. Well, but I've not. I may as well say I've never used Machine.
Yeah, I mean, I've hit the pad a couple times. You know what I mean? But
actually used it. And got down with it.
It's amazing. It's
I
amazing.
use it for performance.
It is a amazing piece of kit, and it's like, if you just did a few simple things that they are well aware of, that are multiple year feature requests, if they did just a few things, they'd blow everyone out the water. But instead, they focus on shit like sounds.com. They focus on shit like complete control. Like, they try to spread themselves so thin, and they don't have the focus that would make it dominate. Like, I was at the Native Instruments release party for the F1 for Tractor, and I heard the things that they were saying back then, and like, this is right when the Renaissance was coming out, and like, there was a lot of big talk and not a lot of delivery, and it hurts. It hurts because there are people of us out there who aren't paid, who just are passionate people for the projects. And we're like, look, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And we hear, yeah. And then nothing happens. And you're like, you know what? That's your choice. And now Machine is kind of sitting off to the side because they just didn't follow through.
Yo,
you know?
I think y'all hit a sore spot.
Yeah. you know, there's certain turbo buttons you can hit on Ken and just lay back. You'd be like, turntable with belt drive.
Right.
Go. And you just lay back and watch.
I just wish that Machine had finished the job that it could have done. And they've
let me ask you though, do you think that that's it? Like, they ain't never gonna finish it?
They're working on Tractor.
I'll tell you my honest opinion of it is this: they have different ideas now that I keep seeing. Like, I've been following the past updates, and like, I don't dig into any like non-public knowledge about it anymore. All I do is look at what they're doing currently, and I can tell you that just the updates that I've seen, they look very like scatterbrained. Like, the whole idea view, and you know, like some of the things that they do now, like the way that things are laid out now, like the way that audio tracks were done and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You know, like, and listen, they're not the only one. I mean, like, honestly, Akai, they could tweak a few things and blow things out the water.
I
like,
mean,
so here's
Ableton,
dude, I want to be able to mute my audio tracks from the pads. I can't do it. Like, come on.
Here's the interesting thing, though, right? Because I feel like everything that Ken just expressed, people were expressing all that same stuff about Akai when Native Instruments was on top. and it seemed like for a while there that nobody had faith that they could get it together. But I think every now and then these companies, they find their stride, they hit their strides, and they can tend to, like, I think at some point Native Instruments may surprise us all, and we'll be like, whoa, I didn't expect that. You know it's going down if you look up and you see me and Ali going to buy a machine.
Right. If I buy machines, they got a standalone box or something.
That's right. If I buy a machine, some smoke in the city, Jack. There's something going down.
Yeah,
straight up. So yo, with that though, it's we're about an hour and 20 minutes in. I want to thank everybody for coming by. If anybody got anything they want to wrap up with, go for it.
Yo,
I'll just say this real quick. I'm just gonna wrap up.
Shirts.
Wrap up real quick. I'm gonna just say this. I'm working on on new sound expansion I'll have out soon. I haven't done any sound expansions in a long time. I'll have something new coming in the next month. And then I'll also say this. Thank you, Corey, for making me end on such a negative note. Hate you.
He finds a way to everything's always Corey's fault. Like, did you notice that the other day on his Instagram? Listen, let me put this out there. Well, so we were all having a conversation about how Ken is redoing his studio. We all proud of him. He's building his studio out, and he's talking about painting the walls green. We all are like, no green in 2019. Like, that's our campaign, right? And this dude jumps on all of his social media. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. And he's like, I want my place green, but people like BboyTech report. It doesn't be that way. I'm like, I love how we got 6 people saying the same thing, and he just sort of puts me on blast. So yeah, Ken, sure, this is my fault. I helped you end on a negative note there. That's good.
Yo, by the way, there will be green in my studio. I just haven't figured out how I'm doing it, but there will be green.
Please don't.
Just recognize. Oh, no, it's not a please. You know what? Yo, when you come by, Ali, when you come by, which you're coming by soon, I'm gonna rub your face in the green. Look at it.
Oh man.
All right. So on that note, if you down for these T-shirts, go to BeatPPL.com. And I don't think we have any smalls left, but we'll be re-ing up soon. So get them while they last. And there's still a couple of Mod Bap Social Club T-shirts, the joints with the circle on it. And so, yeah, that's the way you can support. And this is how we get down. So anybody else got anything?
I do. Actually, just a reminder about the SoCal Synth Society meetup on the 9th of November. It's also a module swap, too. Sale and swap. So, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
People can find that on Instagram, the SoCal Synth Society.
Cool. So on Instagram, SoCal Synth Society that's actually a dope spot to subscribe to, because you get a chance to check out all the different builds and different events that go on throughout the year and stuff. So on the 9th, we'll be together. You'll probably be able to see us on there, building something, swapping something, and talking synths and doing stuff. So
Yep.
And for those on YouTube, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Dope.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Kick his ass, Johnny.